everyone, I'm Maddie. I'm currently a second year enrolled at UCI studying psychology.
Hi, I'm Marissa. I am a third year studying at UCI as a film and media studies major.
Today, we're here with a super exciting guest, a UCI alumni who has made incredible strides in the tech industry, working at big names like Microsoft, Amazon, and Cisco. Not only has she worked on cutting edges of AI and metaverse projects, but she's also very passionate about innovation and mentoring students. So let's welcome Lakshmi.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Marisa. It's great to be here.
Jump right into the interview. We're going to start with our first segment. So, journey from UCI to the tech world. Let's start from the very beginning. So, you were once a UCI student as well, just like our listeners. So, what was your major? How did your journey into the tech industry begin?
That's a good start. So I started off at UCI studying my master's in computer science. I think just like every other student, I came in and then with a lot of dreams and with a lot of passion. I've always been passionate about tech. So throughout my journey at UCI, I met a lot of people, like especially I was a regular to Entrepreneurship Center. Like I was also like a startup coach there. So wherein I met a lot of other people who shared the same interest. So that's where during this whole time, not only was I just working on like the usual college stuff, but I was always interested in working something outside of that. So during my time at UCI, so me and my team, we used to participate, my friends, like we used to participate in ton of like these other hackathon projects, wherein we used to try to push the boundaries of tech, right? So one such example was we participated in this a very uh, long running competition by Microsoft. It's called Microsoft Imagine Cup. So wherein we were trying to push the boundaries of AI. So we experimented with that, and apart from that, there's a bunch of other things that we participate. Like I think even at the Paul Butterworth product competition hosted by UCI. So these are some of the examples which kind of not only kind of help me build on top of what I'm already learning at school, right? And this kind of helped me transition from like the school life. And when I joined Microsoft as a software engineer, all of these experiences not only helped me with my technical skills, because all of these competition also help you kind of grow your network and talk to other people and understand other people. So all of those skills also eventually are helping me in my professional journey.
We just got off a phone call or like a meeting with Ryan earlier, and he said you should have gotten first place for the Microsoft Imagine Cup. Could you give us a little bit more like detail what this competition was about? Like, what was your group idea about?
Yes, for sure, for sure. So this was the time, I think, back in 2023, wherein me and my team, we were trying to build like a full package solution for tuberculosis. Have you heard about the disease tuberculosis? Yes, right. If you've heard about it, I think you might be aware that it's a kind of a it's a disease which is pretty tedious to detect in first place, also tedious to kind of treat. And apart from having said that, it's also it's kind of life-threatening disease, right? But having treated it, detected and treated it properly, it can go away. So our package solution was essentially to solve both the problems, one at the detection as well as the treatment part. So coming to the detection part, so currently the solutions that we have available are mostly around the blood tests, wherein it takes either multiple trips to the doctor or it just takes too long to get back the results. That's one thing. Second is invasive. It's an invasive method, right? So our solution was to have like a non-invasive detection of tuberculosis, which means using AI, we built a cough analysis module into a mobile phone app. Essentially, you just cough into the mobile phone and it tells you whether like what is your risk score of having tuberculosis. So based off on this, you can and then the nearby healthcare provider will be notified, and then you can you can go to a doctor and talk about it, and then start your treatment. So that is the first part. And then the second part is the treatment, right? So tuberculosis treatment is pretty lengthy, which means your a patient is supposed to take medications for at least 6 to 9 months. And but in reality, what happens is a person just feels fine like a month or two into the medication, and he just stops taking medication, which means there is a chances of relapse. And when a relapse happens, it becomes more deadly because the earlier medications do not work anymore, which is why we proposed a solution of gamifying the medication recording, as well as, so wherein you could record your medications as on how you take them, and then you will be rewarded. Not only that, you can kind of and it's like we're trying to build like a community platform wherein you can try connect with who are going through the same the same problem as you, wherein you can share and kind of have your own, like, community that kind of helps you, right? Like, because it can be quite it might kind of take a lot on your mental health as well, right? So that was one more part that we were trying to solve. So that is what our solution was for the Imagine Cup.
I can't even like wrap my head around like the fact that you guys were able to create such a detailed like concept. Did you guys actually create like a product, an actual product, or is it like
Yes, yes. We actually created. So this was like
wow.
it's like an app on your phone that we created, and we were kind of running tests like in other countries like India. So wherein we kind of tied up with a couple of healthcare providers, doctors, wherein we're trying to experiment with it.
Wow, that's insane. Oh my God. On that note, I would like to segue in back to other questions relevant to the entrepreneurship. So I'm willing to believe, like, as you said, you're a regular at the Entrepreneur Center. I was wondering, um, what are your like favorite stories at the Entrepreneur Center? I feel like it definitely played like a big part in your success in your career. So could you talk a little bit about your experience at the Entrepreneur Center?
Yes, definitely. Even although, right, like even when we came in with the idea, I mean, we consulted with Ryan like first, right in the beginning, right? And like there's so many other people he used to kind of connect us with. And then we met Tom, like who was also kind of our mentor while we were at UCI, like who also like Ryan and Tom used to also helped us mentor for this project, and also connected us with other relevant people so that we can kind of hone our product or hone our presentation and make sure we are giving our best for during the competition. But it's just not about the competition with respect to everything. When like at Entrepreneurship Center, right, it was not only did I learn more about entrepreneurship, about building connections, and not only about like my own stuff, but also it was like I came in there, like I had this community wherein not only did I learn, and not only did I learn myself, but I also was what I mean, okay, let me rephrase it. It was like entrepreneurship was a place wherein not only did I learn a lot, but also had the motivation to give it back, right? Which is why I am kind of still associated with Entrepreneurship Center and like trying to give back to the community. So it is, I would say, in UCI, my hands down, my favorite place is Entrepreneurship Center, and I learned way more in at the center than like in any of the classrooms. So which is relevant to me right now.
Yeah, honestly, I totally agree. It's like gaining experiences outside of the classroom. I feel like it's so much more relevant to like the real world application instead of just learning in class. So I'm glad you're still part of this community and you definitely have so much like influence and impact on our like students here. So we're
Yeah.
super grateful for having you. And I have another question. So during your time at UCI, you were a data and technology fellow working on some pretty futuristic projects like Metaverse Classroom. Can you tell us a little bit more about that experience and what you learned from it?
Yes, for sure. So I think right in the beginning, during our my time at UCI, so wherein I think we had this proposal about like thinking about, hey, the metaverse was it's still a big thing, right? And we wanted to experiment with that, like try to run a class with Metaverse. So that is when we started kind of again pushing the boundaries of technology as to thinking as to how we can actually make this a reality. Uh, so that is when we met with so many different people, like important stakeholders for this. Again, this one will be Tom, then Kerry, right, at UCI, right? So we actually initially for the first couple of months we were experimenting with actually we kind of ordered a lot of these Meta quests from Meta, the headsets, and
Right.
then
Yeah.
experimented with it, and then tested the class, and then we were like, hey, we're good to go. And we kind of planned out the class, built a class, and then we ran while during my time at UCI, the fall of 2023 quarter, we ran it in Metaverse, and it was a huge success, which is why it is still running right now. So as a data and technology fellow, the whole, I would say the purpose of that role was to experiment by pushing the boundaries of technology. So which is what the students were encouraged to do. So I think that's it's really great that at UCI and especially at Entrepreneurship Center, you are being encouraged every day to experiment and like push the boundaries of technology, because all of these experiences and all the learnings that you have is definitely gonna help you when you are in your, like, later on in your career. It could be either you're building your own company or you're kind of working for someone else, because no matter what, like, let's face it, right now the technology is moving at like unimaginable pace, right? And everyone wants to see, everyone at work wants to see what can we do, are we at the cutting edge of what is happening, right? So all of these experiences are really helping me a lot and like kind of has set me up for success.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Thank you for sharing all of that insight. Segment two, breaking into big tech. You've had insane internships and full-time roles at major companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and Cisco. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced when transitioning into college, from college to the big tech?
That's a great question. So one thing is the the major challenge would be like when you're at college, right? You're still doing, you're probably writing code. You will be writing code, or you will be doing the same sort of work that you're expected to do in big tech. You're already doing it. But what matters it at what scale, right? So the scale matters. So that was one of the biggest challenge for me when I started transitioning. So even before I came in for masters, I worked back in India soon after my bachelor's. So that sort of helped me, but yet it's quite different. Working here is quite different, and every company has their own set of boundaries and own set of way that they want to work, right? So that was one of the major challenge. The second would be it is just like I so the way I would think is like at school, whatever your any project that trying to work on, you're mostly trying to build like a prototype. It's like, yeah, for some happy use case or some flow, it sort of works. But when you're working for a legit company, it has to work. Like it has to be all good, and it has to be kind of working. It has to be prone. It can't be prone to like bugs or like some other problems. But having said that, these are, I mean, of course, everyone, no matter what I say, they're gonna different, they might face somewhat different challenges. But what what I mean, UCI, especially through all of these different kind of programs, are exposing students to, those challenges are gonna kind of keep coming down, right? If you're already exposed to working on these kind of things, you're already kind of I mean, acquainting yourself with using AI. Like right now, that's a big thing. Like everyone at work asks you, like, hey, are you using AI to
Yeah.
do this work better? Hey, are you doing this? Are you already pushing the boundary of technology? If you're already kind of used to doing it, you're okay, right?
Yeah.
So that should sort of help. But having said that, the transition initially kind of, there will be some friction, but I feel going forward, all these programs should help
Yeah,
too.
I feel like it's essentially like keeping on track, like staying, like following the trends, what's relevant in today's society when it comes to tech, right? So I have another questions. A lot of students are eager to break into big companies, obviously. Do you have any advices other than, of course, being open-minded, having like an ambitious mindset, pushing boundaries? What else do you think could help students like stand out in their application or interview process?
Great, that's a great question. So I would say the way I would you approached any of these interviews or like or even my dream of working of any at this big tech was try every way, right? Like a lot of people just think or just say that, hey, listen, if you find a job, just go apply and wait for your turn, right? That's not how it works. Like you need to try you got to try applying yourself. You got to try getting a referral. You got to try networking. Networking is super important. Like network. Like in whatever field you want to kind of grow, or even if it's outside of your field, getting to know people because someone might know someone, right? And that's what really helps. So you start a conversation, you network with that person, and even when I talk about networking, a lot of people tend like so I don't know if they get the wrong idea of it. It's not about, hey, you just go to a person to network when you need something. That's not how networking works. It's about building a relationship with other person just to to get to know that person and just to have that person on your network. Not when just you need a job and you kind of knock that person's door and like
Yeah,
that that's not how it works, right? So networking is important, like applying, trying all of that. So having said done this, and of course, like apart from this, everyone is going to, there are tons of videos or other content related to, hey, you need to prepare for this interview this way. Yes, you got to do that, but people fail to understand how to get to that part.
yeah.
Or so that's very important. And even
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's not about just getting the job, right? Even when you're doing your job, you're at your work. It is networking is going to take you a very long way. So
Right.
that's very important.
I totally agree. Do you have a few tips for students, like how they should network, how they should approach this? Because this can be intimidating for some people.
I completely agree, right? So it is so the way I used to always kind of go about these is try to attend as many events, different conferences or events as possible. It could be like, right, I know entrepreneurs, like I have myself attended a ton of networking events at Entrepreneurship Center. It could be inside of college, outside of college. There are like a lot of different conferences out there, or it could be just, hey, you're just meeting one person and like that person talks about or like probably you're through a common friend you're meeting someone else, or through a common colleague you're meeting someone else. So that's how you get started. And even I know it will be right in the beginning, it's quite intimidating to let's say just go up there and say hi or introduce yourself. But yeah, I mean, you can start slow, try to kind of have your own goal. Hey, like I wanna get to know or like try to network with X number of people this month or this week.
Yeah.
And then that's how you can start breaking those barriers. Because eventually that's very important. Like being networking and being able
Yeah.
to talk to other people, like even if you do not know that person is what is gonna take you pretty long in your career.
I agree. And it's good to start early. It can be stressful, but you just gotta get through it and
Yes.
then get more
And
practice. Each time you do it, you get better. So
yes, I mean, don't I mean, you don't have to be too harsh on yourself.
yeah.
Like start slow, but make sure you're making progress and like you're
Yeah.
going in the right direction.
Yeah. Thank you for that advice. AI, the future, and college students.
Let's talk about AI. You've worked on AI powered chatbots, Web3 innovations, and machine learning applications. What excites you the most about AI right now?
So we worked about so this was we started working on the UCI like right now what is called the ZOT GPT, right? So this was right, we started working on it right around the time when Chat GPT just came, right? Like it was just launched like probably in November of 2022. And I still remember that day we were again as usual we were at Entrepreneurship Center, and like we had already tried it out. And then the vice chancellor Tom, he was also super interested to know more about it. And then we started a conversation. Like again, Ryan helped us connect with Tom, and then all of us were having a conversation about how can we bring the LLMs or ChatGPT to our campuses? How can we enable our students to kind of use it and also be able to comfortable with the new tech, right? So we started from there and we started experimenting with different LLMs, and then we built this chatbot, right? So it was a great experience. So not only, so my interest is not only just the AI or LLM. It was just, now it's more about what is the new tech and how can we enable it for like the end users, right? In this case at UCI, it was like students, like how did we make it more simple and more understanding for the end users to sort of be able to use it.
We actually just interviewed Tom and we asked him about GPT too. So it's kind of funny that you're talking about GPT as well. AI is everywhere now, from ChatGPT to AI generated content in social media. Should students be worried about AI, or is this more of an opportunity for students?
Oh, it's definitely a great opportunity for students and everyone else out there, right? The way I would put it is basically we need to rethink how we do things right now. So, for instance, back in the days, I think you might not even know, or maybe even I haven't seen as much, right? About typewriters. It doesn't even exist anymore. But
Yeah.
I mean, to start off with, like that's how typing started, right? Like with typewriters. But then when computers and phones came into existence that we see right now, the whole of it had to be reimagined. I would say something like of the same sort right now. The way we try to do things, we need to reimagine. How can we sort of use AI for our own benefit to make us more marketable, right? Rather than being afraid of, hey, like, is this going to take away my job, or is this going to be like something that I am not going to know? Like, so that's the kind of walls we need to kind of bring down, uh, and use AI as your friend, like as your buddy, and enhance your own position out there.
Yeah, I totally agree with your mindset. And I feel like we need to start adapting to that because this is the future. And essentially, like, we're
Absolutely.
going to have to accept it sooner or later. So might as well take advantage of this opportunity.
Now we wanted to ask some, kind of to wrap up the interview, wanted to ask some fun and relatable questions. If you could describe AI in one word, what would it be?
Okay, wait. I think I would say breaking the barriers.
It's
Nice.
a reoccurring trend throughout the interview. Okay.
What's your go-to coffee order when you're deep into coding?
Mine would be iced white mocha latte.
Ah,
Yeah.
we gotta keep trying. Maybe that will help us get.
If you weren't in tech, what career do you think you'd have?
Oh, actually, if not in tech, the other career path I would probably like is being a lawyer.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's very different. Can you
that's
tell us a little
very
about
different. Yes.
wait,
I-
what?
I've already always been fascinated by lawyers, and like, if not for tech, I think that's what I would like to pursue.
That's cool.
if were a good student and I could take tests, I would totally want to be a lawyer, but
Yes.
I cannot go through more education.
Name one tech trend that's totally overhyped.
Tech, I mean, I would say AI is also a little overhyped at the moment, but let's see.
Oh,
Okay, okay.
okay. Yeah. Well, that closes up segment 4. And before we wrap up, what is one piece of advice you would give to students who are trying to figure out their career paths?
Okay, that's a good one. So, I mean, one tip or one advice is don't get overwhelmed. I know it's a lot, but one thing to realize is it's your own journey. So don't try to compare it with anyone else, so that it doesn't make you feel overwhelmed or undermined. Having said that, it's always better to kind of plan out what you want to do, or figure out what you exactly want to do and get some help. Do not be afraid of asking help out there.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That wraps up today's interview. And it was such a pleasure being able to learn more about your experience and talking to you, gaining insights on AI and your career. So thank you so much for being here with
Thank
us
you.
today.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you guys, and I really love chatting with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, bye.